Bronchogenic carcinoma. Whenever bronchogenic carcinoma is suspected, an X-ray of the chest must be taken first. A bronchogenic carcinoma arising from the main bronchus produces a dense homogeneous opacity in the region of the hilum continuous with the mediastinal shadow. In this X-ray, note the homogeneous opacity at the left hilum shown by the arrow. Note that its lateral border is not sharp, but it is spreading into the tissues. This is an important feature of bronchogenic carcinoma. Next, note that the left diaphragm is raised, indicating a collapse in the affected segment due to an obstruction in the bronchus. This is another X-ray showing a more advanced stage of the malignancy. Note the dense homogeneous opacity of the left upper lobe. In contrast with a consolidation or pneumonia, the left diaphragm is raised. It's higher than the right diaphragm, indicating a collapse of the lung. At the same time, the red arrow shows the trachea pushed to the opposite side, probably by the main mass or by enlarged lymph nodes, which will not be seen in consolidation or collapse. In the close-up view, note the dense homogeneous nature of the shadow and how it spreads into the neighboring lung tissue. This is another X-ray showing a dense homogeneous opacity at the right hilum. It is not related to any particular lung segment and is spreading into the lung tissue. In a close-up view, note its density and note that it does not have a sharp border. It is spreading into the neighboring tissues. This is a typical shadow of bronchogenic carcinoma. This is another X-ray showing a dense opacity at the right hilum. Any dense, more or less rounded and spreading opacity at the hilum should give a strong suspicion of a bronchogenic carcinoma, which should be confirmed or ruled out by bronchoscopy and CT scan. Incidentally, this X-ray also shows pericardial calcification shown by the red arrow. Note the dense calcific border of the pericardium. Now, there should be no difficulty in suspecting a bronchogenic carcinoma in this X-ray, where there is a dense spreading hilar shadow on the right side with elevated diaphragm due to associated collapse. Also note the healed fibrous tuberculous lesion on the left apex. We must, however, remember that a normal chest X-ray does not rule out bronchogenic carcinoma, and if clinical suspicion is strong, a bronchoscopy or CT scan should be done even if the X-ray is normal. So the essential features of a bronchogenic carcinoma are a dense homogeneous opacity overlying the right or left hilum. The opacity is not restricted to any particular segment or lobe and has a spreading border, and there must be evidence of collapse or infection, that is pneumonitis, of the affected segment. This X-ray shows a homogeneous opacity at the left hilum with diffuse haziness in the left lower zone. First note the dense hilar opacity shown by the blue arrow. The tumor causes partial obstruction of the bronchus and an impairment of normal drainage of secretions. So consolidation develops in the affected segment of the lung and does not resolve with antibiotic therapy. So this is a carcinoma of the left bronchus with consolidation of the left lower lobe. The corollary is that when a patch of pneumonia fails to resolve with treatment or resolves partially and recurs, an obstruction in the bronchus must be suspected. If the bronchial obstruction is complete, the affected segment or the lobe collapses. The atelectasis may be sharply defined, or if it is incomplete or mixed with consolidation, then its presence will be indicated by a raised diaphragm and crowding of ribs. Compare the upper zones on the right and left side. The faint opacity of the left upper lobe is appreciated on comparison. Also note the crowding of the ribs on the left side and the raised diaphragm, all indicating an associated collapse. Now in this X-ray, note the well-defined and roughly circular opacity in the right mid-zone, which is distinctly separate from the mediastinum. This is the typical shadow of a peripheral bronchogenic carcinoma. This type of malignancy may not be seen by bronchoscopy, and a definitive diagnosis will be made on CT scan or MRI scan. This X-ray of the same patient after 2 months shows a significant enlargement of the lesion. However, still you can appreciate that the main lesion is a distance away from the hilum. This is peripheral type of bronchogenic carcinoma. This is another case of bronchogenic carcinoma affecting the left lower lobe. Note the dense rounded opacity a little distance away from the left hilum. This is a peripheral type of bronchogenic carcinoma. For differential diagnosis, we should also consider other causes of a coin shadow, which we will be studying shortly. But note here the dense shadow with a spreading border in the left lower lobe. A peripheral type of bronchogenic carcinoma affecting the upper lobe, eroding and destroying the upper ribs, and affecting the brachial plexus at the root of the neck is termed as Pankost's tumor. Note the dense opacity in the right apex with rib destruction. The patient had presented with weakness of the right arm. This was a case of Pankost's tumor. Another common presentation of malignant lung neoplasms is a pleural effusion. Note this X-ray of a large pleural effusion. However, you will note that relatively there is no shift of mediastinum. Pleural effusion without shift of mediastinum should arouse suspicion of an underlying growth. The next X-ray after aspiration of 800 ml of hemorrhagic fluid clearly demonstrates the underlying tumor. Note the clear costophrenic angle after aspiration of the fluid and the dense hilar shadow of the malignancy. Once again, note this X-ray showing complete opacity of the right side. The important point to note is that there is no mediastinal shift. Complete opacity without mediastinal shift to the opposite side is very suggestive of malignant pleural effusion. Pulmonary metastases are typically spherical, that is rounded opacities termed as cannonballs or coin shadows. They arise from hematogenous tumor emboli which get lodged in the capillaries of the pulmonary circulation. This X-ray shows multiple but discrete round homogeneous opacities described as cannonballs. In the close-up view, 3 sharply defined rounded opacities are seen, typical cannonball opacities. This is another X-ray showing multiple cannonballs. Multiple rounded opacities varying in diameter from a few millimeters to centimeters are diagnostic of this condition. In close-up view, note the multiple metastases in the right lung and now in the left lung. Multiple rounded opacities may also be seen in conditions like multiple AV malformations or hamartomas, lymphoma, rheumatoid arthritis, and fungal granulomas. This is one more X-ray showing multiple cannonballs. Note the large number of rounded opacities scattered in the lower zones of both the lungs. Sometimes a single large cannonball or coin shadow is seen. Note the coin shadow in the left lower zone. In the close-up view, you can see that it is perfectly round. It is sharply defined from the surrounding lung and does not have a spreading border like bronchogenic carcinoma. This is a metastasis. A single coin shadow may be seen in a single metastasis, primary bronchogenic carcinoma of the peripheral type, hamartoma or AV malformation, an abscess without air, a hydatid cyst, and traumatic hematoma. Secondary carcinomatosis. This X-ray shows both lung fields riddled with small opacities of varying sizes. This is termed as miliary carcinomatosis or secondary carcinomatosis. In contrast to miliary tuberculosis, here the opacities are larger, less numerous, they are not uniform in size, and they may be confluent. Compare it with the opacities in miliary tuberculosis, which are 2 to 3 millimeters in size, uniform and discrete. Once again, let us compare them side by side. On the right, the opacities in secondary carcinomatosis, which are larger, varying in size and confluent, while on the left, the opacities in miliary tuberculosis, which are smaller uniform in size and distribution, and discrete. This is another X-ray showing secondary carcinomatosis. Note the large number of opacities varying in size, many of them confluent with each other. They are quite different from the cannonball metastasis, which are very sharply defined and discrete. On the right, we see opacities of carcinomatosis which are not perfectly round and the border is not sharp. This is another X-ray showing secondary carcinomatosis. Note the opacities varying in size, confluent and in large numbers. A variety of conditions may produce such miliary mottling and a clinical correlation may be necessary. The common causes are infections like miliary tuberculosis, bronchopneumonia and aspiration pneumonia, and fungal infections like histoplasmosis and coccidioidomycosis. Then allergic conditions like tropical eosinophilia and Loeffler syndrome, malignancies like miliary and lymphatic carcinomatosis and leukemias, acute pulmonary edema, and miscellaneous conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, hemosiderosis, and interstitial pulmonary fibrosis. To revise, the common causes of miliary mottling are infections like miliary tuberculosis, bronchopneumonia and aspiration pneumonia, and fungal infections. Allergic conditions like tropical eosinophilia and Loeffler syndrome. Malignancies like miliary and lymphatic carcinomatosis and leukemias. Acute pulmonary edema. And miscellaneous conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, hemosiderosis, and interstitial pulmonary fibrosis.
For more such stuff, do subscribe to Date with Medicine.